Hey, how's everyone doing today? My name is Joe over at Bettorsinsight.com. Today is Friday, October 2nd, and with NHL just around the corner, we decided to start up the YouTube videos back up. Last year we dominated in the NHL. If it wasn't for one bad week, the last week of the regular season, we would have went way over 100 units last year, but we were 52 games over 500. We went over 97 units, so our $1,000 per unit guys won over 97,000. Our $100 per unit guys won almost $10,000 last year. NFL, we're coming off of our second perfect week. Weeks 1 and 3 were perfect, and we look to have another big week this week as we like the board this week. We have a free pick. It's the first game on the board from Wembley Stadium in London. We're going to take the Miami Dolphins plus the 2 for 3 units, 330 to win 300. The Jets are a little banged up. Their cornerbacks, Revis and Walls, they're going to be less than 100% if they play. Their skill positions, Decker and Ivory, are banged up. And they also already have tight end Jeff Cumberland out and guard Willie Colon, as well as their third wide receiver, Chris Owasu. They're a little banged up. Their offense should struggle with Fitzpatrick. You never know what you're going to get. We expect a couple interceptions from him. We think Miami will turn their ship around and get a W and get their team going in the right direction. Miami's offense is been struggling on the run. Their offensive line hasn't been giving Tannehill time or their running backs any lanes to run. I think they'll clean all that up this week and be able to move the ball on offense. Also look for Tannehill to do some bootlegs and get out of the pocket a little bit. The underdog in the series is also 4-1 the last 5. We're going to take the Dolphins to get a slight upset and improve their record to 2-2 and hopefully start our Sunday off right. It's a 9:30 kickoff Eastern Time, 6:30 West Coast, as it's in Wembley Stadium in London. We also have a free pick in college football this week. We're going to go with Texas A&M minus 6.5 against Mississippi State. Also 3-unit play, 330 to win 300. A&M is second in college football with 17 sacks so far in the season, just one behind Penn State. They have Myles Garrett with 6.5 sacks already and Deshaun Hall with 4. John Chavis came over. He was the old LSU defensive coordinator, and now he's Kevin Summerlin brought him in to run the defense in A&M, and he's done a great job getting to the quarterback and also getting his players lined up correctly and in the right positions. A&M has averaged 40 points in their last 3 games against Mississippi State. Kyle Allen is also looking good. He's coming off a 358-yard game against Arkansas. 173 of those yards going to their freshman stud wide receiver, Christian Kirk. He now has 300-yard games and also 4 of Allen's 11 touchdowns of the year. So we like Texas A&M minus 6.5. We think they win by double digits today. Also, we're going to be giving out some fantasy information, some players we like for Week 4 of the NFL Daily Fantasy on DraftKings. Now remember what you're looking for when drafting your team. If a player, for example, is $5,000 salary, you're looking to get back at least 10 points. You want to double his salary to create a good team. Triple is ideal. So if he's a $5,000 salary player, you're hoping to get you 15 points. If more, great. If a little less than 15, as long as more than double, you should be all right. But keep that in mind when you're taking your guys. Starting with that, a couple quarterbacks that we like. Andy Dalton, he's averaging 23.9 fantasy points per game, and that's 3.15 fantasy points per dollar. So he's over the triple points per dollar that we were talking about. Also Teddy Bridgewater, we think he's a good start against Denver, and also Tyrod Taylor with his running abilities, and also be able to toss the long ball downfield. All good value picks, all guys that are under $6,000 on DraftKings. and we think that you don't have to overspend this week on the quarterback position to get some guys that will go off this week. A couple running backs that we like, a couple value guys. Carlos Williams from the Bills with McCoy out. The Bills love to run the ball. He's a low price guy, only $3,400. We think he's going to get over 20 touches. He's the only guy in the NFL that has a running touchdown in the first 3 games in the year so far. We also like Melvin Gordon for San Diego. We like a lot of San Diego players this week. I think San Diego is going to break out in their home opener. And also Latavius Murray, Oakland's running back, for $6,300. We think he's a good play this week as well. A couple wide receivers that we're on. T.Y. Hilton. I know Luck's a little banged up, but with Andre Johnson being pretty much invisible, T.Y. Hilton is their main target, and we look for him to have a big game against Jacksonville. Randall Cobb, you seen what he did last week against on Monday Night Football against the Chiefs, 3 touchdowns. It seemed like they couldn't stop that play at the goal line when they called run and play, and then just audible to a quick out with Cobb, who scored 3 times. Also, A.J. Green, pair him up with Dalton. He's going against a weak secondary, $7,600. He broke out last week, and we think he's going to have another game. You get the double touchdown points if you match him with Dalton. A couple tight ends that we're on. We like Greg Olsen this week, $5,400, number 1 targeted guy for Carolina. Number 1 catches for Carolina. Cam Newton needs some help. He always looks for his big tight end who has great hands and some good speed. Also Charles Clay, $3,300, very good value pick at tight end. Broke out last week with mobile quarterback on the bootlegs. He picks up his yards in chunks, and he's also tough to bring down as well. Some defenses that we were on this week. We like Seattle. We had Seattle last week, and they shut out the Bears. Obviously, it's a little different team with Calvin Johnson and company coming into town. But we think now with Cam Chancellor back, we think that defense is going to take strides to the right direction and get that team rolling. Also, Carolina going against Jameis Winston. They just picked up Jared Allen, coming back into a 4-3 system where he's more comfortable. He's going to get to the quarterback more often. You're going to hear his name called more often. He's a much better player in the 4-3, and look for him to have a good game, get to Jameis Winston, get a few sacks. If you're playing in FanDuel, you have kickers. A couple kickers we like. Josh Lambo for San Diego. As we said, we think San Diego's going to have a breakout game at home. And also Janikowski for Oakland. You've seen the guy can kick it from anywhere on the field. We think with Chicago's offense struggling, Oakland should have lots of possessions and few field goal opportunities along with some extra points. So that was our daily fantasy players that we like for the week. And keep in mind, like I said, when you're picking guys for your team, you want them to get 2 to 3 times their salary. So like I said, if they have $5,000 salary, you're looking to get anywhere between 10 to 15 points out of them. So just keep that in mind. We're going to do a little segment at the end of each episode called Doesn't Make Sense. This week, we're going to talk just quickly about what doesn't make sense that we've seen last week in the NFL, which is all these NFL sidelines has plastic tarps taped so the grass doesn't get worn down. All the players on the sidelines walking back and forth, they don't want the grass to get worn down, so they put these giant slip and slides when you got $100 million players like Aaron Rodgers scrambling around, running out of bounds to avoid a hit, and all of a sudden he's on this huge wet slip and slide, avoiding injuries and crashing into stuff. Looks like they're gonna pull a groin every single time they hit the tarp. It makes no sense to me. I don't get why they're doing this. We think they should take it all off before someone really gets hurt. We got all these guys, multi-million-dollar studs, guys that can change a team, change a franchise for the year, and they're going out of bounds, and all of a sudden you see them slipping and sliding into the benches, and one of these guys are going to get hurt. Just doesn't make any sense. We were calling for the NFL. Listen up now before anybody gets hurt. Get rid of the slip and slides, the plastic tarps on the side of the NFL fields, please. Thank you. This has been Joe for Bettorsinsight.com. We'll see you guys soon. Have a good night. Good luck.